Okay, so my name is Tom Ollerton. I'm the founder of Automated Creative, the creative effectiveness ad tech platform. And one of the things that we do as a business is make lots of content about other people's ads. So we've been doing, I think we've done about 150 episodes of Advertisers Watching Ads. We're going to do it live today, and the whole purpose of this talk is to find ad of the year. So all of you are going to help decide which is the official best ad of the last 12 months. So thank you for being part of it. I can have a massive round of applause as we welcome on stage our speakers as they jog onto the stage. It's like being in Westlife, it is, indeed. All right, take a seat, guys, get comfy. Oh, I need my clicker. Right, do you want to introduce yourself, Alesha?
Hi, I'm Alesha. I'm the paid media lead at SellGP.
Hi, I'm Nathan. I'm the social influencer and PR manager at Lipton.
I'm Charlotte Ford. I'm the former EMEA marketing director for Ruggable. I'm about to start a new gig in 2 weeks' time, so this is like my time off.
Brilliant. What a panel. Very high expectations, guys. You've really set a high bar. Right, so the way Advertisers Watching Ads works is we're partnered with Contagious. They find 2 ads for every episode. Then this goes on LinkedIn and people vote for which ad they want to see in the show. And then we have a Zoom call most often where I get 3 or 4 brands to come on and discuss the ad and debate it. And at the end of the discussion, they give a vote out of 5 for how great they think the ad is. And then everyone goes into a leaderboard, and the leaderboard looks like this. So what we're going to be doing is looking at the top 3 ads by participants' votes over the last year. So the first up is the John Lewis Christmas ad, which seems to be mental to talk about in the middle of summer. But there you go. Right.
What are you looking for?
Something for you.
You're not going to find it.
No, not here.
I don't want a doll.
I want a nose ring. Jewelry. Is it a politician? What is coming now? This is happening.
Everything's going to be fine. He's healthy. He's amazing.
He's a boy.
Come join us.
I can't.
This is mine. What's your problem? It doesn't even look good on you. Get out of my room. And you still haven't even found me again.
You actually came.
Not this face.
Oh, Sal, get out! What are you doing up there? Hurry up!
What took you so long? You.
Right. So, Charlotte, how does that sit with you now it's not Christmas? Does that seem like some weird tradition? Or good ad or not?
It's hard. I was at Saatchi & Saatchi for a bit, so I feel a bit weird reviewing it sometimes. I don't love it. I wanted to love it. I don't love it. It feels a little bit like, shit, we have to make them shop in the actual store. We need to show them that it's a bloody shop. Come on. And that feels like it was in the brief, and that was very much evident in the execution. Saatchi also had the honour of doing Waitrose's ad, which I thought was way better. I loved Waitrose's ad so much with the murder mystery thing. And just that, for me, felt like a much better turn than this. This felt, and I dare say it, but John Lewis is becoming a little bit formulaic. And this feels like a formula, soundtrack, emotive story. And maybe it's just that I don't like my brother that much. But, sorry, he's fine.
Well, that's an optimistic and bright start this morning, Charlotte. Thank you. Alesha, are you equally dour about this?
I'm actually not. I'm a big fan. So I like Christmas ads anyway, but John Lewis, I think, do it really well. And you can see that this did deviate. I do agree. They definitely said to the brief, we need to introduce the product. We need to introduce the store. But I think they did it in a nice way. And I love the human element of the story and the different eras and all of that emotive style. So I was a big fan, actually. And it's probably got my vote a little bit. So, yeah.
Oh, come on, Nathan. Where are you?
I'm the decider. I agree. I really liked it. I think it gave me the feels of like Christmas, and it brought that like family element into it. But also agree with you in terms of like you could see that the brief was very much like put the store at the forefront, which I guess makes sense, I guess, in the current climate where like, people aren't really going into store and stuff at the moment. So they needed to put that at the forefront. But it felt very relatable. It felt very Christmas. And it was a nice, just a nice ad, I guess you could say. I wouldn't say it was like groundbreaking in any way. Do you know what I mean?
Just by a quick show of hands, did everyone get what was going on in that ad? Because I watched it when we reviewed it last Christmas, and then I watched it, I'm like, who's that? Is there anyone else slightly confused about the narrative in that?
I will say my mum, who is so diehard John Lewis, you can cut her in half and you'll have Never Knowingly Undersold running through her. She had no idea what was going on there. She watched it 3 times with me, and she was like, I don't get it.
I know what you mean. When I watched it for the first time, I was like, there's so many parts to it that you like have to follow it and follow it and follow it. Whereas like, I guess when you're putting it into different channels and those kind of places, like you don't get that much attention. So I guess as like an actual piece of creative that sits within media, it's probably quite difficult to follow for consumers, I guess.
Or it creates the fact that you have to pay attention to actually follow what's going on. So I know for a fact when I'm looking, I'm like, what's going on? I really struggled to get the sister element at first. And then, yeah.
Right, so on a count of 3, hold up your fingers for how good you think this is. 5's very amazing, 1's not very amazing. 1, 2, 3. A 3, a 4. See, it's still, you're quite negative about it, but still scoring relatively high. Right. A 3. Okay. All right, can we get a quick vote from the crowd? 1, 2, 3, fingers in the air. Ooh, 2. I saw that.
You can tell he's worked for Saatchi.
Right. You can tell he works at Saatchi's. Right, okay, what's next up? Right, BM02. Here we go.
If you want all your savings are gone, I can help you. All the money, if you want to resolve the matter.
7 in 10 Brits have been targeted by scammers. And it's not just our grandparents. I was one of them. But this film isn't about getting scammed. This is about getting even. Meet my friend, Daisy.
Hello, scammers. I'm your worst nightmare. I'm an AI created by O2 to waste phone scammers' time. So, W's then a dot?
3 times W and then dot.
I think your profession is bothering people, right?
I'm just trying to have a little chat.
It's nearly been an hour! For the love of...
Gosh, how time flies. It's showing me a picture of my cat, Fluffy.
It's showing you a picture of your cat, Fluffy.
Stop calling me dear, you stupid...
Got it, dear. Because while they're busy talking to me, they can't be scamming you. And let's face it, dear, I've got all the time in the world.
So whilst you're out enjoying life, Daisy and O2 are here fighting scammers, taking calls and wasting hundreds and hundreds of hours of scammers' time. If you want to help Daisy and O2 ruin a scammer's day, you can report scam numbers to 7726. Because you can't do it all on your own, can you, Daisy?
Who says I am, love? Speak soon, scammers.
Right, very, very different proposition. Nathan, what's your take on that?
I really liked it. I thought it was a really fun way to play on a very serious thing that's happening, right? Like, I mean, it opens with 7 in 10 people are being scammed. It's happened to friends, family that I know. And I think the way that they've approached it with humor, but actually delivering a really good solution was really great. And I think the choice of putting Daisy as like a older character, the casting of that kind of relates to multi-generational, and then also bringing in, I think it's an influencer from Love Island, right? Bringing her in to kind of attention that younger generation as well. Like they've done a really solid job of kind of capturing the attention, bringing humor into it. The only negative I would say is it starts so slow. Like the first 10 seconds you're a bit like, what's happening here? And I think you could potentially lose people in that as well, like if it's, being played out.
Alesha, are you a scammer victim?
I've actually been all right, but I'm an O2 customer, and personally I feel like, yeah, it's a great proposition, but I do feel like if you know the numbers and you can block them, surely there's more you can do rather than just distracting them. So the ad in my head is making me think, well, you can probably do more, and I know that there's a lot that they do, but I think that would have been interesting as well. But I don't know, in terms of the ad, I'm not the biggest fan. I think it's great to see the AI and how they've gone about it, and it did make me want to maybe go and find out more. But that would be about it.
I think it's worth qualifying that that isn't an ad in itself. That wasn't. I mean, I'd say that was a bit of case study sizzle. We've all worked for agencies. We know how that works. So I hear your point about being a bit slow at the start, but really it's a kind of
informative piece, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It did make me want to just find out how they went about it. So there was a curiosity that it piqued in that sense, but that would be it, I say. Yeah.
So I'm not objective because my husband works for Virgin Media O2. I don't know what he does, so if anyone could tell me, that'd be great, but he's something in data. I love this so much. I love it passionately, and I love it for two reasons. One, old people wasting other people's time is hilarious. Two, scammers are arseholes, so that's great. I think it makes me a tiny bit sad, and the reason why it makes me sad is because it takes private enterprise to have to solve problems that should be publicly funded to solve. Scammers are on the rise. It's a horrible problem, and it's affecting, like they said, not just the elderly, it's affecting everybody. The fact that Virgin Media O2 are having to do this as a private entity is kind of sad. But anyway, that's my small rant over. I loved it. I thought it was great.
So what? How could they have taken this further, right? So the tech's super interesting. I was chatting to the team yesterday about how they did it. It's a really interesting story behind how it all developed, and we'll not go into it now. But what's the brand job it's doing here? Is this going to get me onto O2 from somewhere else? Like what? How could they have taken this further? Do you think?
I think it's trust, though, isn't it? Really, like it's Virgin Media O2 have your back. And they're on your side helping against, again, the arseholes.
They care, essentially, which I think purpose is a really big thing. So it's great to see.
And the other thing I was thinking is that, I've worked agency side, and this is like a dream come true, isn't it? It's like AI, it's tech, it's innovation, it's PRable, it's brilliant. But how would you see this working next year? Can they do it again? Did you have to have like Daisy and Duncan, the old man, or something? Is there a story here that can come out?
It's quite hard to continue, I guess you could say. Like it's kind of got that one announcement piece. I guess the only way that you could do it is potentially bring in show Daisy talking with a real scammer in like a short clips or in those kind of ways to kind of show how it works in a better capacity than kind of just like the opening one line of a conversation or something like that, to kind of bring it on and show how it's actually stopping and wasting people's time, which also could be quite funny too as well.
So it's voting time for you guys. On the count of three, how many fingers? 1, 2, 3. Ooh, only a 3. Why? Why only a 3, Alesha? I'm interested.
That's just my vote.
Right, okay. Right from the audience, 1, 2, 3, fingers in the air. We've got lots of 4s and 5s. I think the panel likes it more than the room. Interesting. Right, okay, so we are on the final ad. Here we go.
It's just a period.
Right. So, Alesha, what's your views on that?
I'm a fan. I thought it was quite a well-done structure and story in terms of how it brought in a topic that's pretty taboo and people aren't necessarily that comfortable with, or even the visuals as well. And they just brought a lot of humor into it to really just lighten the mood and I guess get that message to penetrate a bit more. So I enjoyed. I thought it was great to see the story. I thought it did a great job.
Nathan, you a fan?
Yeah, great. I think it was a really bold piece of work. Like, it starts out so strong and you kind of get it immediately from the get-go. And I agree with you in terms of, like, the story. You kind of see it evolves straight through and it adds the humor and you can kind of see the life stages of how it impacts women throughout. So I think it's a really solid piece of work. Visually really beautiful as well. It's been produced in a really beautiful way. So to deliver that message and also deliver humor and deliver it in a really polished output, I think it was great.
So I'd go a bit further than that. I think I reckon if you took a little screen grab of every scene, it'd be beautiful in its own right.
Sure.
So I think solid piece of work, Lee. I think that's dumbing it down a little bit for me. I think I've seen, like, coming back to these ads, like, I just found myself going, right, it sucked into it. Or was it different for you?
And when you watch it back as well, you see loads of different bits and, like, you don't pick up some parts of it when you're going through it. So it's really great to watch it a couple of times.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this ad before. I love it. I still love it. I kind of wish it wasn't from Bodyform, but I love it.
Why do you wish it wasn't for Bodyform?
Because I feel like there's a lot more sustainable period companies out there that would be better coming from. However, sometimes it takes a big brand with a big budget to say the right message. I love the soundtrack. I think it's beautifully shot. And I just think the message is really important. I mean, women haven't been included in medical trials for that long. So actually, talking about the lack of education around periods, and even to the point where we used to see that shitty blue liquid, no period is blue. That's weird. You should go to the doctor if it is. So the fact that used to be, that is an acceptable representation of what a period is actually insane.
Well, you got me all excited about your comment on the previous ad saying why is it come to a corporation to do the job? And periods, it's unbelievably commonplace. It's so ridiculous. It's just bodies. It's women. It doesn't matter. It's not a choice. It's a thing. But yet we've got to have some mega clever, highly paid creative agency to try and convince people that it's okay. It's mad.
It's crazy.
So once again, I don't think that's the actual ad. It's more of like a kind of hero film. So, Nathan, how do you see them taking this forward?
I mean, it's quite hard to take that and then translate that, I guess, into other channels, I guess. Like, it's maybe you could do it through individual personal stories and, like, you take some of the characters and you kind of adapt it in that form. But I guess as that piece of work, it feels like it is kind of just a standalone asset in itself, maybe for TV, maybe for VOD or whatever it looks like. But I guess it's quite hard what I felt was quite hard to pull it out and expand it and allow it to kind of float in other channels. Yeah,
that was how I felt before. Where do you take this next? What I'd love to see them, campaigning for better period education if you go back to the original stat.
Because they ask quite a lot of questions in there, but they don't really answer any of them in that sense. And I think maybe that could be also part of it, right? Like, if you were bringing it onto social, for example, it's like starting the conversation with consumers to kind of build that out and bring it a little bit further. But
I felt there was quite a lot of actually, out of all three of the campaigns, this had the most kind of ability to cut down, like, the kids doing the art classes. It's so brilliant. It's such a strong image. So, Alesha, do you think that there's how would you have brought this to life in other channels?
Gosh, I feel like there's probably a story that could happen or some more content, particularly where you see the woman that's struggling in the bed. There's an element of potentially endometritis and things like that, so extra elements that we don't talk about, and actually taking that into extra forums, having social conversations around some of the other illnesses that people don't talk about, struggle to get diagnosed. And there's just a lot, and there's a lot of people that suffer. The percentage is probably really, really high. So I think that is a great platform for them. And then, yes, you have the educational part as well and going into schools and all of that element. But it does really make you think, why do we only talk about it once it's here and not before? So I think it's a great piece. And, yeah, there's great legs on it.
So it's time for voting. So on the count of 3, marks out of 5. 1, 2, 3. Audience, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, go. Oh, God, I think drum roll. Right. Okay. So, so we're gonna have a vote now. So, gosh, I haven't even thought about how I'm gonna do this. Right. Hands in the air if you think Bodyform should win Ad of the Year. How about VMO2 and John Lewis Christmas ad? Right, well done, Bodyform. Brilliant. Okay, I think that's it pretty much. If you want to watch Advertisers Watching Ads, you can scan that QR. It's on LinkedIn. That's a website, and it's and YouTube as well. So, and if anyone here is in a brand and wants to come on the show, then please reach out to me after the show. But we can have a round of applause for our dreamy panel, please.